Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast channel. In this episode today, you can see on the screen, we're going to be talking about the rosters, going to be talking about a little bit of news. COD Next is tomorrow, so a lot of stuff going to be coming out. We're going to see our first real gameplay from some actually, high level players. If you guys enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. Boys, we got a little bit of news to get into. Some pros are testing out the game. They're already making changes that we were complaining about last week on the pod. We're gonna do a little draft later on of like all-time teams because next week we hopefully kind of get into some official news. Like hopefully we'll have all the rosters coming up soon because people will be playing the game. But we finally get a look at the game tomorrow, so we'll definitely be able to talk about that a little bit
Yep.
next week and kind of how that looks. I guess I'll start with a couple things of news. So the first thing I thought was notable, Matt Scrons, he's been, working on the game. I think it's at least BO4 for Treyarch. And I know pros always kind of, mention him as like one of the most friendly developers for competitive. He's pretty well loved by the pros. He always seems to listen to the pros and, be willing to work on the game from a competitive standpoint. And it looks like there was a tweet from him. He had an absolute blast welcoming pros from the COD League into the studio to play Black Ops 7 multiplayer. We're in for an exciting year of competitive Call of Duty. And like some people that I just noticed pictured in there Estriel, Joe Deceives, Purge, Kremp, Lamar, Slasher, Simp. I see Miles. I see the commissioner of the CDL. And then the only other pro I recognize in there, I would say, is Snoopy. I think the other people are just developers from what I could tell. Actually, is that Major Maniac? I can't tell. It's super zoomed out picture. I thought it might have been Major Maniac, but I can't. No, he looks way too tall. Never mind. He's like the height of
Brock, we
Lamar.
had the same reaction as soon as he said that.
I
Nature Maniac?
the picture I
Major
have is like
Maniac, dude.
Oh,
super
damn.
zoomed out. I don't think it is him. That guy's way too tall. I, I wish it was Major Maniac though. That guy. So some pros though, specifically, I would say that I really want to see their like accuracy and slasher and simp. Even a guy like
Yeah.
Purge. Purge, I feel like is a good guy to be there. I feel like it's a smart
Mhm.
player. Like I want the guys that I feel like are smart players there. Like especially Lamar and Slasher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lamar and
so
Slasher.
Big Wake?
I do not see Big Wake. um,
Big wake no there.
but that's exciting to see because I feel like we haven't, you know, I feel like this is a studio that, even if other pros for other games don't have to play, I feel like Treyarch is a studio that listens a little more and is,
Yeah.
open to the feedback. Like, of course, they're not going to take every single thing that the pros say and change it, and they shouldn't because at the end of the day, they are making a game for a wide audience, and there are way more casual players than competitive. They shouldn't just take everything the pros say and morph to it, but like for our ranked play to be better earlier and for the competitive rule set to be better earlier, like just like the pros being in there and like, yeah, we're not going to use this, like maybe, I mean, I would have to say like maybe the perk adjustments were because of the pros going in and being like, hey, we need a little bit more perk balancing here, and we'll get to those in a minute, but like it's nice to see the pros all in there and like they can give some feedback to you know get the game to a better spot early on, hopefully,
Mhm,
sooner rather than
mhm,
later.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah. um But that's, I mean, that's basically it there. And I guess related to that, let's see, where was that I saw here? I would think it's related to that. I mean, there was a lot of talk on Twitter, but the perk change, we were complaining about it last week. We were saying
I
like,
was losing full composure.
yeah, we were like, this doesn't make any sense. They didn't make major changes, but they did make. The pros were very happy about it, which tells me like the balance is probably going to be good. And I'm not. I think all of us would agree. I'm not opposed to having Flak, Tack, and Ninja all in the same category because let's have some creativity.
Right,
Make people be punished. Like
Mhm.
make my stuns useful. Everybody has Tack Mask. If I throw a stun, it's never really doing anything besides giving me info.
Yep.
right.
Like I or if everybody on a team has flak, my nades aren't going to be as effective. But when I throw those stuns, we're going to be able to break a hill better. Like make something, or make
Yeah.
everybody give up ninja so they can't be silent and respawn. But like I like to punish for that. But um, I guess there's only one perk change that really matters for competitive, and that's dexterity going to perk 3 instead of perk 1. So that gives you a usable perk 3, which is
Yep.
nice. Because dexterity usually like allows you to like get your gun up faster, like shoot while you're sliding or moving and stuff. So that gives you a perk 3. So I guess that's nice. The other two are perk changes are just like pubs because scavenger going from perk 2 to perk 1. That has nothing to do with competitive. You can't run
Yeah.
scavenger. Like That has nothing to do with it. And then Looper again, like we're not going to be like going for like re-rolling streaks in competitive, so that's irrelevant. But I mean, I guess your thoughts on that? Like, it's nice to see them more so the fact that the perk changed to dexterity from 1 to 3. Not that it's better for competitive, but more so it's nice to see we aren't even at the beta yet, and they're already starting to tweak these things that we need to see tweaked and like make changes. That's good to
Yep.
see.
That is
Yep.
really good to see.
Making some changes, listening to the
Yeah,
community, and it's great to see so far. Hope more
Yeah.
comes.
yeah, and it's not even a competitive thing either. Like it was also needed just for pubs too, because you can't have every single good like even a lot of the good pubs perks were just chilling in perk 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so it's nice to see them make a change in like dexterity now gives us a usable perk at each slot. Like I kind of hope they maybe move things around a little bit more. We need like one more good thing in perk 3 to make people have to change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw the thing that like pros are already potentially GAing tax sprint perk, which good. I hope so. I,
Yeah.
it's
I
just
like
gonna
that.
be it's gonna be so like either everybody has to have it on or nobody has to have it on. Like
Yeah.
Right.
it's gonna be insanely weird to be like, oh, like the timings are gonna be like I like lightweight more. Like tax sprint's a weird mechanic. If it's like, yes, the pro throws on
Yes.
lightweight, so they move faster, that makes sense. But like the whole tax sprint thing is just weird. Like either everybody uses it or
Yeah.
nobody, and it sounds like they're GAing it. I'm down for it to be out of ranked play. That would be ideal.
I'm down too.
Brad, the Warzone player, I don't think he's down, but
No, I'm good with it. I think. Well, that's a separate conversation.
I don't. Yeah, I just think that in terms of strictly competitive, it just doesn't.
You don't need it.
You don't need it, and it like leads to fluky. Like my gun flies in the air, so then when I like try to slide,
Exactly.
you like have a slight delay to shooting, and it's like, but it's also not consistent. Like and this, if there's no tac sprint and I sprint, I know at all times what my time to fire is going to be. I'm not like, oh no, is my tac sprint recharged? Like so when I take off, I think I'm just going to regular sprint, but then all of a sudden my gun flies up in the air and I'm tac sprinting, so my timing's a little thrown off. It's like, no, give me the
Yeah.
consistent sprint, like at all times. Either I'm always tac sprinting or I'm not,
Yeah.
and I would prefer not overall.
You
I
get it out.
agree.
Yeah. Uh, Another thing for Bo7 multiplayer that we will see tomorrow in the beta, the overload mode in Black Ops 7 multiplayer. So there's like an interview with Miles and one of the devs, I believe, talking about it and how we're going to see it at COD next. So I swear I was under the impression that we were told this is uplink. The overload mode is uplink. It's definitely not. That
Believe
is
so.
not.
Yeah.
It's not uplink. It is, from what I can tell from the video and the little mini clip, it seems like it's like Blitz in a way. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with Blitz, it's a game mode. Basically, I think it was really only in Ghosts, um,
I think so.
but it was
Yeah.
like you had people like there's basically like two like little goals in each spawn, and if a player ran through that little goal, they would get a point. I think that was the only year it was ever played competitively. Like, they ended up being a super popular mode. But it's unfortunate because, like, I mean, I'm assuming Uplink will be under a different name or whatever, but, like, it's not definitely not gonna be a great competitive mode and won't be used because, like, you could literally just get a lead early and then everybody could just set ahead glitches in your spawn and just, like, not let them run through. Especially with
Yeah.
2 goals. With 2 goals, there'd just be constant scoring.
Yeah.
Because like, if you get a 3 dead, you just all score. Like,
Hmm. I
it's just
wonder.
yeah.
I never played Blitz, but in Ghost, was there only one or two goals as well?
1. There was 1 per team. So, it
Okay.
was like it was a little bit more defendable, like if you got a 2 dead and somebody popped a big 2-piece in your spawn trying to defend it, like, you could actually stop it, but, like, I'm thinking now with 2 goals, like, if you know they're spawning in a corner by 1 goal and you, like, 3-piece them off spawn and you kinda get them in, like, because 'cause I'm assuming spawns would be pretty, like, sticky, kinda like control. So if you just
Hmm.
have people in, like, a control spawn trap, like, 2 of you are spawn trap, the other 2 are just farming, running through the goal back and forth, like, it just
Yeah.
it this mode is, like, something that, like, if we played COD competitively, like, 6v6, maybe, but, like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Hmm. I mean, it'll be a fun, pubs mode to play. Hmm.
Yeah, I it might be fun in pubs, yeah, like, in the beta, it might be fun to mess around with it, like, I feel like it could get kinda crazy in pubs, like, sprinting for the point, like, it could be, like, a fun trolley mode, but
Yeah.
Yeah. They should do a ground war overload mode.
Yeah.
12v12 or whatever ground war is.
Yeah, something like that would be fun. Like it's a as a cat from a casual standpoint, I don't know, like you guys agree or disagree, but it's a super fun thing. It's a fun thing to add to the game. I think it could be a
Yep.
fun pubs mode, just from a
Yep.
competitive standpoint, not viable. But I mean, I'm always down for them trying new game modes instead of doing the same stuff for
100%.
pubs. Just always try new game modes. If it flops, it flops. But like,
Yep.
I mean, Uplink was a random idea. They were like, hey, let's try this out, and it ended up being one of the greatest competitive modes we've ever seen. Like,
It sure has.
Control was a random idea. Ended up not, panning out too much in the last few years, but like the first year of it, Control was awesome.
Yeah.
BO4 Control was awesome. Like,
Yep.
try the new game
All the
modes. Always throw them out
commercials.
there.
Yeah. Can't hurt. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, agreed. We had like one or two more things I want to talk about. I'm trying to just pull everything up. Um, oh yeah, another huge one. So Treyarch confirms they made updates to Black Ops 7 to reduce the visual effects and visual smoke when firing your weapon to dramatically improve visibility. When we played Black Ops 7, it was a lot better compared to where it was in BO6. And in BO6, they reduced the visual recoil by a lot. So like
Mm.
that's a W. Like visual recoil is annoying. Like actual recoil, sure, but like the random like gun shaking and you can't see because there's smoke flying out of your gun. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like let me just see. Like,
Come on.
so I like that limited visual recoil. They need to bring back like recoil patterns though. Like, don't have like the crazy flare up. But like, and my gun needs to recoil, so it actually takes skill to shoot. But also like the crazy visual like smoke, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to find a balance.
Hmm. The gun's getting a little too easy to shoot these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, Last thing I want to get your thoughts on this. I feel like this is a Brock and I told you so moment. Brad probably would agree with that. I don't think we've really talked about this topic with Brad at all, so that's why I say it's like a Brock and I told you so topic. But Treyarch confirmed the return of Classic Prestige in Black Ops 6 was a huge success, telling us that
Wow.
over
Shocker.
over 90% of players that reached level 55 during the launch window chose to Prestige. It's the highest we've ever had in the franchise as a percentage for prestiging. So, shocker, you release an actually rewarding mode to prestige, people engage in it and they do it. Uh, the old that they introduced with Warzone is terrible. Like, we used to always talk about this
Right.
on the pod, but like, I never even knew what level I was because it didn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
it would say, like, I would look and it'd be like, you're level 385. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't care. New prestige system, or like I'm not new, old prestige system that is now back in the game, the best by far because it's actually like I'm not like I used to be where I'm like, oh, I want to grind for master prestige, but it is kind of fun to like, oh, I can prestige now, and I'm like, I'm this prestige, and I get these
Right.
logos to unlock to customize. It's just like something extra to go for when you're grinding camos and when you're playing ranked and like trying to get up to a max level.
100%. It adds that little bit of a, just like you said, the little bit of reward. Just a little bit of
Yeah,
sense of satisfaction of like you achieve something as well.
Yep.
and also, I mean, for pubs players, it's like a because it's like I mean, we all play ranked and it's like the main thing we play, but there are plenty of people who never touch ranked. And like
Yeah.
for pubs players, it's kind of like it's your competitive thing, like trying to beat your friends to a certain level, or like racing and trying to be
True.
like one of the first people to get to a certain prestige. Like, because at the end of the day, most people that are playing video games, like especially first person shooters, they may not be playing the specific competitive mode, but there's like probably something there. Like they're either going on and trying to get their highest number of kills ever in a pub, or they're trying to have their best
Mhm.
KD in a pub, or they're trying to win every game in pubs, or trying to level up fast. Like there's always some like little competitive thing in there that they're doing, and like just adding prestiges just gives you that much more to do, like grinding for levels, like try to be the first one of your friends that hits a certain level or something.
Yep.
Right.
So I like that, and I thought that was hilarious.
Love that.
That
Love the old prestige system.
I just thought it was so hilarious that they're like, it was the most success we've seen in a leveling system in years. And I'm like, no shit. Like, so every fan of your like game
Who
ever
could have
has
thought?
no idea why you changed it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a long time since we had that because it was BO4 was the last one before this year, right?
Yeah. But
I think.
Cold War?
I don't think Cold War had it. I could be wrong though. I think Cold
I
War had
don't
like
remember.
the weird season leveling. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong though. I don't remember.
You could be right. I honestly don't remember, but yeah, love the old style.
Yeah.
Should have never got rid of it.
100%. All right, that's pretty much all I had for news. Let's kick on over to the sheet we have on the screen of the rosters. So if you guys can see here, the players highlighted in blue. I don't think I missed anybody, but players highlighted in blue are like the confirmed um, new players on rosters. Uh, the phase player 04 just has 4 because no matter how many times I put 0 and try to edit the sheet, they just eliminate the 0. So 04 is just 4. That's his name. Uh, but I
4.
mean, yeah, I we don't have to spend a ton of time on these rosters. Like we've talked about a lot of them. I guess the big news was the Thieves roster announced was a big
Yep.
one. Not a shock. We knew it was coming. I have to give respect to Optic as the best team in the game because of how dominant they were. But I still think if you were to just blindly show me these on paper after last year, I'll be honest. Gun to my head right now, if I had to pick a team who's going to have a better year, I'm picking Thieves over everyone.
Yeah, I'd
I
have
mean,
to agree with you.
probably too.
I
Just
just
for paper wise.
yeah, on paper, I just like that Optic team is incredible. Don't get me wrong; they're incredible and they deserve to be the favorites right now because they were dominant. But it's just like Mercules is incredible. He was awesome at the last game. I think he's an awesome talent. I think he's going to be amazing at this game. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the game. But at the end of the day, we only saw him on one game for half a year. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
there is more potential for a a downward trend where he's not as good because we've only seen him on one game. Again, I don't put your pitchforks down. I don't think he's going to be bad. I think Mercules is an incredible player that's going to be good in every game. But
Hmm.
I think it's objectively true that there's more of a chance that like he could maybe be instead of Mr. 1.3, he could be Mr. 1.1, and that changes the results for them. Dashy and Shottzyy expect them to be really good, and then Huke again. Huke has been up and down his whole career. Again, I think
Yep.
Huke is really good, and I expect him to be good. But like that's a player that's been very up and down, and if he has maybe one of his more down years, they could be looking to struggle. But that being said, Kenny had a really bad year last year. So like he could have a
Yeah.
down year for
Indeed.
Thieves. Just don't see Hydra, BZ, or Scrap really having down years is the thing. Like there's just a little bit more
No.
consistency on that Thieves team. To me.
Right.
I don't
I
know.
would
I
have to agree.
was gonna say, do you guys if you had to pick right now, have to put it all on the line, who's gonna have a better year next year between the two? What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I gotta go Thieves just because you don't know, like you said, you don't really know like 100% what you're gonna get out of Mercules next
Mm,
year. And like I like I love Shottzy, Dashy and Hook are really good. Um, but like you said, I mean Hydra, BZ, and Scrap. Like obviously Kenny had a down year, but Hydra, BZ, and Scrap, like their bad years are still incredible. And I just don't see their floor going very low with those 3 players. And I think Kenny's gonna be great as far as like IGL. I think he's gonna be the at this point, I think he's gonna be a great glue guy for that team.
mhm.
And I just gotta pick the Thieves here because it's just I mean I mean just looking at the roster, it's freaking wild.
Yeah.
Like this is like something you'd like draw up and oh yeah, this would be really cool if it happened, but there's no way this is happening. And it happened. So I'm picking Thieves.
And we thought last year Thieves was,
I was
insane.
thinking
Now look at this team.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just one step above it.
Right.
yeah, because I mean I think Envoy, awesome player, and Abizi is less of an
Mhm.
upgrade over Envoy than a lot of people think because Envoy is awesome. I still think Abizi is an upgrade.
Yep.
Um
Yeah.
recent form Ghosty was certainly better than Kenny last year, but I think in terms of fit for this team, I still stand by I think Kenny is a better fit for what they have
Hmm.
because Ghosty at this point probably is going to put up better numbers, but I and Ghosty is good comps. Don't get me wrong, Ghosty. If this team had Ghosty, I still think that they would be disgustingly good. Like,
Yeah.
but I just think Kenny maybe is more of what they needed in terms of like somebody who's going to get on them, like veteran leadership, like leader of a team, going to help them, play the game the right way. I like what Kenny brings to this team a lot, as well. Say,
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree.
um, and Optic just, I think what Brad said is the key point that I'm kind of thinking of that I maybe didn't say right away, but I just think it's a floor thing. I think like Optic has maybe even you could Optic has a higher ceiling because we saw what their ceiling could be this year. They were untouchable. So, like maybe their
Fair.
ceiling's higher. I just think the floor is higher for Thieves because again, like we've seen a Shotzzy and Dashy led team not be able to win a map for a month, like 2 months,
That's true.
and like I just don't see a Hydra BZ scrap led team with Kenny there to help them out. Like just losing 18 straight maps. Like I don't see I don't see their floor. Like I see their floor as like they're gonna be top six no matter what on their worst days. And then they have like a high ceiling. Optic may have the highest ceiling, but yeah, I don't know. I guess any other teams in here you think are like we're not mentioning that we should be mentioning that like they could be the best team.
I mean,
That phase
General
team.
Mates look. Yeah, I think General Mates could be really good. I like you look at these names and then you look at like Thieves and Optic, and you're kind of like you'd think that maybe not, but like I truly like this team if they mesh well, like they could be really really good, especially if Neptune plays how he did last year and not like NYSL Neptune.
100%.
Um,
Mhm.
like that team could be really good.
Yeah. I those are definitely the two teams I look to as well. And Ultra, depending on that fourth, is a sneaky team as well.
Yeah,
Man, only if Ultra kept Merc to have him on their team too.
could be
yeah,
wild.
or this is what I want to
That
talk
team
about.
would be insane.
Also, Nasty. Like, why are Nasty has the history with Joe Deceives?
Mhm.
Why is he going to the breeze?
He just I mean obviously didn't get an offer because he would be
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
Ultra and Heartbeat. Like he would have taken that
Oh,
offer.
100%.
I believe Insight's there. I just believe Insight's going there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Inside's just inside Cleanix. We heard
I
that name for how many years? It's
I just
you know
don't like it. I just don't like it out of Ultra. I'll be honest. I just don't like it at all. I just think that you're you're playing scared because I guess my point
playing
on like
safe. Yeah.
why we were talking about Optic and Thieves is I do think FaZe and Gentlemates and maybe Ultra, depending on their fourth specifically, those three teams could win events this year. I can't see them being the overall year best team though.
hmm
Like I can't see their overall year beating Optic or Thieves for the best team in the game, but I could see those teams being top three at a lot of events. You know, maybe win a tournament. Um, everything goes the right way, but I wanted to touch on that point. Like the other rosters, like Heretics, I think they'll be solid. If Surge actually picks up that full challengers team, I think they'll be fighting for the last spot at champs. Maybe Falcons could be serviceable. That Rocker team could get interesting. There's a lot of talent there if they can
Mhm.
own it. Um,
100%.
that
I
Breach
was actually
team,
just thinking about that.
yeah, the Breach team bores me, but I don't understand Ultra. Like, what are we doing here, Ultra? Like, Insight, if they pick up Insight, they're going to be good. They're going to be
Yeah.
they're going to be making it to Sundays. I guarantee you they'll make like at least a Sunday or two. They'll be top four. Maybe they'll get a third in there. Maybe they'll squeak into a final somewhere. They'll be a really good team. They'll make champs. They'll get another fourth place. But like,
That's their ceiling, like
yeah,
fourth, third,
let's
Yeah.
fourth.
let's make a risk happen here. Like you weren't gonna get a Boozer or Draza because I don't think they were gonna. A Boozer was taking that phase offer no matter what. Draza was going back no matter what. I think
Yeah.
unless he got a
Yep.
crazy offer. But like Nasty, the potential's higher with him than Insight. Let's pick him up. Another name I really see out there that I'm like, why not go for Mamba? Like, go for the
hmm
upside. Like, go for it. Because I think Mamba would have left his challenger team to get a chance to play with Real, Joe Deceives, and
Oh,
Kleenex.
100%. What
Like,
about
Oh,
what about
yeah.
like a Geo? Because like I feel like I mean obviously I like Geo, but I feel like Geo would be a good AR for this team.
I I think talent wise, yes. I just don't know like if Geo plays the game the correct way enough that like
Mm,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Another guy, this might sound crazy because we're talking about like go for the risk, but like I would have preferred Skies. Because
hmm
really?
I think if I look at Skies and Insight, they're both like, they're maybe past like their prime of their career, but they're both
Yeah.
solid, like they're good enough to be in the league, like good ARs, but like Skies had a little bit of a down year. His team on Gentlemates was bad. He goes to Optic. They don't really improve much. He sits out the rest of the year. But like we're also forgetting that Skies was before this past season, he was in back-to-back champs finals.
That's
Like
true.
and was a really good player. And again, like if you're talking about a pop-off takeover game, I I think Skies has a lot more takeover potential than an Insight.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skies is also
100%.
they're both good at S&D, but Skies is also an awesome S&D player. So like
Yeah.
I would like to see this team try to poach Skies. Honestly, that might be where I lean even over Nasty. I might like Skies this team. I know it'd be like a hot take maybe because Skies had a down year, but like I think this team could use a little leadership and maybe a little bit of a slower AR because I think Kleenex, Real, Joe Deceives is a really fast trio.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
they could maybe use like a Skies to bring some leadership and communication and vibes and
Mhm.
I don't know. and again, I know they haven't offered skies. There's simply no way because he would have obviously taken this offer over that rocker team. Which I guess
Yeah.
thoughts, Brock. We'll start with you. We'll go to Brad because I know Brad kind of said he liked it, but thoughts on that rocker team? I mean, like,
I mean,
yeah.
they got some talent for sure.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Gotta see, if they can put it all together. I mean, and
How?
they at least they got Skies as like the leader to help them.
Yeah, it's also technically like the people in like the yellowish color are technically rumored, not signed officially, like
Okay.
announced, but like I also didn't know if like Kremp or Gwyn was going to be like the flex, so I just kind of like threw him in there. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I want to
I
get your
feel.
thoughts, Brad, on it. But my general thought on it, like
Mhm.
from what's left, I don't hate the formation of the roster because they just went to talent stack. They were like,
Oh,
Kremp, you're
100%.
talented. Gwyn, you're really talented. Estriel, you're really talented. But none of you maybe play the game super correctly, or like maybe you have some issues with that. Granted, I do think Kremp and Estriel are like relatively like smart players, and I think like they don't need to be honed as much. Where like Gwyn has kind of been just in that like Gwyn's been that early pred role. He's just been like go kill,
Yeah.
and like
Yep.
Yep. 100%.
they want to hone Gwyn to be like a smart player. And again, I think Gwyn's fully capable of that. I'm not saying he's not,
Mhm.
but like I don't hate it for being a late roster construction when a lot of other people are done. You just grab three super talented players and added a vet. I don't hate it. It could be worse.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think they'll be amazing, but your thoughts, Brad?
I personally actually really like this team. Um, I do. I'm not really sure who would be the flex. Like, I feel like Gwyn is probably the most likely to be the flex. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, but honestly, like, what was left? Like, I think they probably got the most bang for their buck. Honestly, like
Mhm.
Gwyn is. What you said about like the comparison between early Pred and Gwyn, I think that's like a perfect comp. Like that's so accurate.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Gwyn, I mean, Gwyn has so much talent. Like he has some of those games where he can just absolutely just take over. And I, like you said, I mean, Gwyn's got to develop a little bit in certain areas. But I mean, Estriel and Kremp, like we saw Kremp, he had moments too where he was absolutely just untouchable too.
Mhm.
And then Estriel, he's a very solid player. I think he has. I mean, he's been on kind of rough teams, so like I feel like he hasn't really been able to like show out as much as he possibly could. And then
Mhm.
I genuinely really like this team. Like I didn't even see this team until after we were talking about the Thieves. I was looking at all the other rosters and I saw this. And honestly, it's like it's not. I don't think they're going to be great, but I think they could be exciting to watch. I really do like this team.
I I agree, and I think like again, like when you're one of those teams that like Rocker clearly are not like at the level of like your Phase, your Thieves, your Optic, your Gentlemates, even
Right.
your Ultra. But like if you're not at that level, don't play it safe. That's why I like this. Go
Right.
for a bunch of
Yeah.
talented
Exactly.
players because like I think Rocker make for a really interesting like that's why I like the way the league right now is shaping up in terms of rosters because if you I think we can pretty much all agree, depending on unless Ultra really trolls that fourth player. I think, like we've said, like in whatever order, Phase, Optic, Thieves, Gentlemates, Ultra are looking like our top five.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
and like Optic Thieves probably looking like your top two. Then like I would say like Phase, Gentlemates probably like your 3, 4 in whatever order, and then Ultra kind of your fifth team, but could crack into the top four. And then I think it's really fun because based on the rosters we have, like that Rocker team, they're like six and they're definitely on the outside looking in. But with how much talent they
Mhm.
have, like on the right day, they could just come out firing and pull off an upset. And you've got a team like Surge, who is probably not going to pull off many upsets, but like they have Mac and Craze, or not Mac and Craze, sorry, Craze and Mamba. So like
Mhm.
maybe they get something done on the right day. Then you've even got like a serviceable Breach team who was scrappy last year. Maybe they can pick off a win. And then Heretics, another team that like Rencor, super their new pickup, Metals, like that team could be like a scrappy solid team. Like we're looking at like a solid, solidified top five, and like maybe and even Falcons. I mean, they have Pred and Celium and Kismet, like solid veteran players. Like you're looking at like a
Oh yeah.
pretty clean top five, and then like 3 to 4 teams, depending on what Ravens, Surge Cloud9 rosters look like, that on any given day could pluck off a win, from one of these
Yeah.
teams. So it's like, hey, I'm down for it. Like solidified top five with 3 or 4 scrappy teams that could take wins. Like we could be in for a pretty exciting league.
Yeah. I agree. And what have you heard about this Trakes guy?
I mean, I heard I mean, he better be the GOAT based on their like announcement video because they were comparing it. He's from Argentina, and they were comparing him as
Okay.
the Messi of COD. So he better be freaking good. Like
Oh my god, that's
That's crazy.
wild,
they were like
dude.
comparing him to Messi, so he better be good.
Dude, the heretics just they're I- they're wild, man. That's a crazy org.
They
What they've been doing this offseason alone is just okay.
I'm just
Slur.
really I'm really like sad for the Heretics fans and team in a way because I'm like again, Metals is a serviceable player, but like if this team
Hmm.
had Stoopy or Real, like they fumbled the bag so hard
Yeah,
by
they
not
did.
if Real was in this team, if this Trakes kid is as talented as we're hearing he may be, like how awesome would this team be to watch if you just put Real's name in for Metals if this kid is as good as we
Yeah,
think he
for
could be?
real. Yeah, that'd be a really good team.
Because
Hmm.
Heretics was knocking on the door of making a finals a few times last year.
Oh yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
Yep.
legitimately was good enough to do so. Super was awesome. Rencor was one of the best players in the league. Riel was awesome. And Metals was having, overall for like his fourth kind of glue guy role player, Metals was solid. But
Yeah,
like
pretty good.
Riel can go in for Metals and just be infinitely better. And like if this kid is what he's built out to be, I mean, we're looking at a this is a team that you could be talking about. Are they top five? Are they top four?
right,
Like
100%.
so it's a little disappointing that not nothing against Metals, but it's disappointing that they couldn't get it done with Real because like Real's
Yeah,
ceiling is just higher than Metals. Well, I still
Yep.
think though if this kid is like at Real level like that, like he's pretty good, this team will be a really solid team again.
yeah,
Hmm.
100%.
They'll be battling, they'll
I'm
be top
a
six.
Yeah. Do you think Super could regress a little bit? I feel like he could. I mean, he doesn't really
Yeah,
move, so he might. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's definitely a regression. I mean, the obvious guys for regression candidate would just be like Mercury, simply because like he was so incredibly good that it's like
Oh yeah,
he could be
Hard
like
to do.
shout out.
he could be like MVP level this year, and he wouldn't be potentially as good as he was last year because he was so good. So
Right.
he's just obviously due for regression because he was literally untouchable last year.
Yeah.
Um, Other regression candidates, I mean, yeah, I would definitely say like a guy like
Oop.
Hook would be because he was just unreal. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Um, Neptune, just because again, it was 1 year of being amazing and a lot of years of not being as good. So maybe he
Right.
could regress. Again, I don't really actually. I think all three of those players are going to be good this year. But again, like regression just means they aren't as good as they were last year. So like,
Still could be
Right.
good though.
yeah, still could be very good. Like Mercules would go from being the best player in the world for the last 2 months to maybe being the fifth best player in the world, and he would still be an incredible player. It would just be
Yep.
technically, by the definition, it would be regression.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those are the rosters. I'm excited to see what else we see coming up with. Hopefully, Ravens and Cloud9 at least put a competent roster on the
Yeah.
board,
Yeah.
or just give me
Do
something fun.
something.
Give me illey on a team. Make it fun.
Yeah. Let's see
Um,
some new names if they're not gonna, put
yeah,
out some rosters.
absolutely. Going over to here, I got this little draft I wanted to do um of teams. So we've got that up there. We have got a little draft we want to do. So we've done a few different ones. We've done like picking players and all that. Just wanted to extend it a little bit. Maybe we'll do this exercise for a bit here to just kind of extend the pod, give you guys some more content. But this is a fun one. We're gonna do a draft. I have it here for 6 rounds. I think that'll work. So that'll be what 18 teams drafted. We're gonna do it snake format. Brock's gonna be in the middle. Brad, we're giving Brad the advantage of first pick because Brad definitely has the not as deep bag, I would say, as Brock and I, just
Yeah.
because Brock and I have been watching for longer. So Brad will probably be
Yeah.
more dipping into like the CDL era, which again is fine. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's plenty of great teams from the CDL. But we're
Yeah.
doing an all-time draft of teams, of CDL teams. Um, and this is like we're not like pairing them up, but it's just you're gonna draft your 6 teams, and we're gonna see like who has the best looking, overall squad from it, and it's going to be specific teams in specific years. So, like, my example I'd use is you can't be like, I'm picking the Optic Dynasty. You have to specify, like, I'm picking the Optic Dynasty from a specific game. So, one of the Jetpack games from AW, and then which roster, the Nade Shot one or whatever. And then are you picking the Karma one, or are you picking them from BO3? Or, like, for example, like if you picked World War II TK, the early version with Chino and Theory, or the late version with Pharaoh and Enable, kind of
Yeah.
stuff like that. So with that said, Brad, you have the first pick. I have a feeling I know where you're going. I'm just curious what game you're
No,
gonna say.
you don't.
What
Black
is
Ops
it?
3 Optic Gaming.
Yeah, and I knew that would be your pick because BO3 would be the game that you have more of a knowledge on.
Yep.
You okay? This said, if it's like a roster that was basically the same roster, do we want to keep it? Like, so like nobody can pick AW Optic, would we say? Since it's this, what if it's the exact same roster? You can't take it.
Yeah,
So
that makes
like,
sense.
you could take Cold War phase, and somebody could take like Vanguard phase if they wanted to. Well, no, those are the same. So you could take like somebody could take like MW19 phase, and somebody could take Cold War phase because like they didn't have the fully same roster. So if they don't have the exact same roster, you could take them. Like if they switched out one player, you could take them.
Right.
Like you could go like last year's phase to this year's phase because they switched out a couple players or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you.
It's like nobody can pick like IW, or we'll say you can't pick the Nade Shot Optic from AW. Like the Optic Dynasty is limited, but you could pick like BO2 Optic. You can pick the same org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't pick IW Optic.
no, unfortunately,
I
because
won it.
just because it's the same roster.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, IW Optic did win champs, but I still think they'd be my third pick of the Optic teams.
BO3 Optic literally won everything just like butt champs.
Yeah.
Same with
Black
AW
Ops 3
Optic.
Optic was
Same thing with AW
absurd.
Optic. Literally, they won like everything but champs. I think
Yeah.
that funny enough, the Optic team that won champs, like it was Formal's peak maybe, but I think it was like arguably their worst game of the dynasty. But they won champs in it, so it's always remembered. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Granted, they still won like multiple events, so they were in champs, so they were still obviously amazing. But you could argue it was like objectively like the way they played the game, potentially their worst game, and they won champs in it. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Rock, you're up.
Ooh. I feel like I haven't. I feel like I might know what you're gonna pick next, but I'm not picking that team.
I wanted to just like off the dome, just mess up these picks like in my head. I didn't want to make a list. I wanted to just like off the dome try to pick these and like
Yeah.
see what ones we leave.
I'm going off the dome right now too. I'm going Black Ops 4, LAT or 100T.
Okay, interesting. You're not picking the champs from that year.
I'm not.
You have 400T,
Yeah.
so okay.
Yep.
Obviously, that team. I'm assuming you're picking the after the Pharaoh roster change.
Yeah, after they became good.
So the Octane Slasher AR duo with Kenny and Enable and Priesta. Elite team. I mean, that team was amazing. Only thing they didn't do was win champs that year. Basically, they won multiple events and then got second at champs. But that team is elite. I think I have to pick. I guess I'll say from Ghosts because Bo. I mean, I have to pick complexity. They probably should be arguably like the number one pick or two pick. I feel like I have to pick them. It's just like BO2. They didn't win champs, but they just won like 8 events in a row. And then Ghosts, they were so dominant, won champs, but like ended up breaking up. But since they just won, I don't know. Team do I take?
You took my team.
I'm gonna just say BO2 complexity just because they're more known, but like it's BO2 and they didn't win champs in it, but like they won 8 events in a row or something. So I'm just gonna say BO2 Cole.
Didn't Complexity win Ghosts?
Yeah, but they didn't win BO2 champs. Freako Impact won it. Because that was the weird time when champs was in like March in the beginning of the year was still then. So like Freako Impact went on like a 3 streak or 4 streak and like won champs, and then like after champs, like Complexity went on like an 8 straight run and won everything.
Okay.
And for that roster, I guess I'm picking the Camo version, but instead of the Clay version. But either way, and then this is the one I'm torn on. I have like a billion teams that I love and just want to pick. This is like my kind of draft, just like thinking of all the teams that I really liked. I'm just trying to. Do I want to pick like technically who I think is the best team, or do I want to go for like just a team that I just love and always holds like a special place in my heart because I swear they're the best team I've ever watched? I'm just gonna pick BO4 United.
No, dude.
That was
That's 2 in a row. What have I done to you, man?
My first COD event was Black Ops 4 champs, and I just remember I was with my old college roommate there, and I just remember they had like the 2 sides, like the stages on each side, And I remember we were walking through like it was crazy at that time. There was like not nearly as much security. You could literally like walk up to the stage. If you really wanted to, you could have walked up onto the stage mid match, and then eventually you would have been stopped by like a security guard. But you literally could have walked onto the stage because you could sit literally a foot in front of the stage. Like you could walk down in front of it, and like there was a tunnel to get to each side. Like
Mm.
one side had like the backstage for the players, and the other was like a tunnel to connect because there was two stages, so there was always two matches going on. And on the other side, it was Wuskin versus Scraps. Like they're playing each other to like loser, go home. Or maybe they were no, maybe it wasn't Wuskin versus Scraps. Maybe it was like I think it was like Reciprocity versus E6. Funny enough, like so Scraps was in the crowd watching Wuskin like because they were on kind of a crazy run. And I remember like on the other side, it was the E United and like the Raided's team, Rated Joe, the team that like randomly made it like really far. And I remember we were like walking through the tunnel and we just heard like Simp's name being screamed repeatedly, and the crowd was going like crazy. And as we turned the corner, we were like watching the Simp like crazy snipe play on Arsenal. And I just remember being like, this is like the best player I've ever seen. And then he just like dominated the whole event and they won. But I got to pick that team because they also just hold a special place in my heart. Because like to this day, just like really, really, that was like the event that made me start the pod. And I was just like, this dude is literally like unreal. Like,
Literally.
yeah,
That was my next guess, but
I had to go for him
that's
just
why I
because I
wanted
always
him.
talk about them.
Yeah.
Where are you going next, Brock? I took your team. You were going to go double BO4.
I was going to, and now I'm gonna go Cold War phase.
Yeah, that's probably a better pick. Well, I don't know.
This is unreal.
I mean, Cold War phase is like literally one of the best teams of all time. That you can't really be surprised by like any team that's gone so far. I'd say maybe
Yeah.
the most surprising is Brock's BO400 T pick. Maybe just because they were like they didn't win champs. I mean, granted, my BO2 Cold team didn't win champs either, but BO400 T was like they were untouchable for a bit until Simp joined United, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the first thing that popped in my head, really.
Yeah, I want to go. I wanted to go off the dome for this. I don't want to do like crazy research. I just want to be like, what can you think
Yeah.
of? Because then we're definitely going to leave some crazy teams off the board, just going off the top of your head. Because there's literally thousands of teams that have played in competitive COD history.
All I gotta say is, for my sixth team, no one better take it.
I have a feeling I know what it is. Brad, you got two picks. Let's get it going,
Oh
buddy.
boy. I'm gonna go with World War II EG, Evil Geniuses.
That's a crazy pick
Why?
because they were so ass all year except champs.
All right.
They won champs, so Brad. They did win champs.
They did win champs. And then
That's
I'm
an
gonna go with
insane pick.
hey. I honestly sure. Anyways, I went to
That's
and
an
then the second
insane
one, I'll go with Modern Warfare 2019 Dallas Empire.
That's a good pick. That
Like,
that pick that you made is insane because if you did a
fine.
draft,
You want me to re-roll? You want me to re-roll?
no, because
Okay.
I want to see somebody comment about that. The reason I love it that you picked that is because I could be thinking of this wrong, but if you did a draft of all the
Yeah.
COD champs winners, I think they'd be picked last.
Oh.
Actually, I know they'd be picked last. Who would be picked after them? Nobody.
Famous winners.
Like Farico Impact, BO2, they were dominant. Lexity's dominant in Ghosts. Denial would maybe be up there because they were kind of a 1 or 2 tournament wonder as well, so they'd be up there for AW. Envy would be picked pretty early. They're elite. Optic Dynasty elite. Evil Geniuses in World War II. Then United BO4 elite. MW19 Empire elite. Cold War phase elite. What else are we looking at? Then Vanguard LAT elite. MW2 Subliners elite. MW3 Optic elite. Last year's Optic, yeah. World War II EGs the last team for champs finals. I love that you picked that. That's an insane pick. I guess if you're talking peak event, but we're talking kind of whole year. That's shout out Brad. That might be the fourth team I would pick from World War II.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Good. This is what we have you for, Brad. What a pick.
Good rage bait, Brad.
Good rage bait. Good rage bait. I'll cut out our discussion.
Right.
Good rage bait.
Man. So it can be the same. So could I theoretically pick the Vanguard LAT, right?
Yeah, because it's like I mean, it's the
It's
same
completely
organization,
different.
but it's a whole different team. Yeah, you could pick
Okay.
them.
Do I pick them or do I go with a team that I thought you were gonna pick with your first two? To be honest,
I don't know.
fuck.
Go
I'm
for it.
gonna.
I think if I'm thinking of the same team, I'm gonna pick them as one of my next two. If I'm thinking of the same team.
I. I'm just gonna pick. I'm stumped. I really am, but
Mm.
I already have a 100T team, so I'm just gonna pick the team that I don't really want to pick, but I'm gonna pick them because they're really good. I'll pick up Black Ops 3.
No,
You
no,
know, John, Appleby,
no.
Jacob,
That's such a
Slasher.
that team was so good. BO3 Envy
Yeah, BO3 MV.
team was so good,
I
dude.
thought you were gonna pick them at
Uh,
first.
I was gonna pick them with one of these two picks for sure.
Yeah,
That team, for anybody that never watched that, dude, that team at the end of the game, we should all know. We should have known they were winning champs. Like,
yeah,
if we're honestly talking about it, like everybody had their rose-colored glasses on for Optic. Like, this is the year the dynasty gets it done. But like, objectively, going into that event, Envy should have been the favorite.
they're so damn good.
They won the event.
And then that
Yeah,
Cheeto
yeah.
John.
He is so good. They won they won the event before that too, like the playoffs event, and they were like, and everybody was just like, "Well, Optic's winning champs," and it was like, dude, we should have known Envy was winning. They were so good, so good.
Yeah,
I want to pick that team bats. That throws a wrench in my plans. I was thinking about dipping into the World War II well because I still think the top two teams from World War II are on the board at Brad.
yeah,
Uh,
Don't talk to me.
I'm also thinking about going kind of back old school again. The problem is like AW, the team I would really want to pick is Optic, but like can't pick them because Brad has like that same team in BO3.
hmm
Ghosts, like the only team I'd really want to pick would be Cole, but I can't pick them because I already have that team. BO2, there isn't like a ton of other teams I want to pick. Like Farico had their crazy peak, but like overall their whole year like wasn't insane because Cole dominated that year. Fucking recent memory, you've got like you do have like the Optic teams of recent. I'm gonna go. I wanted BO3 NB really bad here. Oh man, and we're going for the whole year. We're not just saying like, oh yeah, they won champs, so they just have the team I pick. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with. They won like 4 events that year, and I want them because it's like one of my favorite teams. I'm going with the World War II, not EG, TK team. And what's crazy about that? I think Brock would
like that.
agree. You could still make an argument that that isn't the best team from World War II. You
hmm
could still make the argument that the best team from World War II is out there. I'm gonna go with the latter, the latter team. The late, I guess, the last team they had because they did for a second there. People forget they had methods for a second in World War II for like an event. I'm going with the later team that got second at champs that still was the best team in the venue and somehow EG beat them. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's the Kenny accuracy Pharaoh enable team. That team, I love Pharaoh so much, such a good player. I obviously love Kenny. Accuracy's best game, and I love Lamar. Like that team in enable, another one of my favorite players. Like that team is just they hold a special spot in my heart. I love that team.
Yeah.
That was my other pick, dude. I don't know. My favorite game is pretty tapped out with NV and Optic from BO3. BO4 pretty tapped out as well with 100T and E United. I'm gonna go for an interesting one, a team that I think had a awesome run. Again, I'm going like all pre CDL era. Maybe I'll dip into a few CDL era teams because like it's hard. I mean, you could pick. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. AW phase.
Yep.
The attached Zuma enable Clay team. That team was. I mean, we talk about AW Optic, maybe the most dominant team ever, the most dominant run. FaZe went on a run of beating them a bunch and winning finals, and that team was like the only team that could even compare to Optic, and they were awesome. So that AW FaZe team towards the second half of that year is who I'm going with.
Like that.
Leave my pick on the board. Do it.
I don't know who it is.
Vanguard LAT still there for
Uh,
you.
they are, but I already have an LAT team. Do I really want another one?
Yeah.
NW3 Optic.
Yeah, that was the other team I was thinking of. I was battling between them and FaZe, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I just want the AW face team because I just have a love for the old teams. And
Yeah.
MW3 Optic, like I was comparing, like, do I want MW3 Optic or like the Optic from last year? But I just can't get 0-18 out of my head for the Optic from last year. Even though you'd be picking the roster that dominated with Merc, just picking them for the whole year and saying, yeah, I'm going to take the team that didn't win for 2 months is so weird to me. Even though it was different roster, so it wouldn't really count. All right, you got 2.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get clowned again because I'm going for one of my favorite teams
Oh, I'm typing him in now.
ever. Wait, what are you typing? I want to see. Oh, I'm not typing anything in. Black Ops 3 Elevate.
Yep.
Aqua, Facento, Naga, Fellow.
It's already half typed in by the time you finish saying it.
Love that team so much. And my second team, dude.
And BO3 Elevate is so funny. Brad's draft is so funny because he has like 2 of the best teams ever, like alternated, and then just 2 crazy picks sprinkled in.
Yeah, hey, that'll happen.
That'll happen.
You guys already said Cold War phase. I think. Oh, this is tough. Part of me kind of wants to go with like Vanguard Thieves or Phase. I think I want to go.
There's one of those teams you should
I'll
definitely.
I'll go Vanguard Thieves, please.
I was gonna say, don't pick FaZe. They got the second at every event.
Yeah.
They couldn't close. Vanguard Thieves is a good pick. That's a good pick. That team was towards the end of the year. They were one of the most untouchable teams we'd ever seen. Like they were untouchable for the last 2 events that season. All right, Brock. That brings us back to you.
Man. We got some good teams up here.
I actually don't even know who I'm going to pick because my pick was going to be that Optic team or Vanguard LAT.
I'm trying to think who I should pick. I'm stumping right now.
You dip into the. I don't know. Actually, I don't want to even give you a hint because I have one team I really want.
Actually, I have I would say as like not a troll but troll, like I would say Optic Nation team, but I don't remember like half of the people that played in that team besides like Embos only.
they had Miracles and TP and Karma run through that team. Ricky, legendary team. You pick BO2 Envy just for Stainville. Stainville's so go. He's so goated.
I'm gonna pick this team because I watched. It's kind of team I first watched. Watched a lot of YouTube videos on. I'll pick the BO2 Optic.
Hell yeah, that's just for the vibes.
Merkin big timer, Nate shot, Scump.
I mean, that team is strictly for the vibes. I respect it.
Facts.
That team is
not so much,
vibes.
Good vibes. Not so much winning, but some great vibes.
No, but great vibes. I was kind of thinking about. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys some hints here in case I don't pick them. I was thinking about World War II Rise because you could still argue they were the best team in that game. They were so dominant.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ryan. I was gonna say a Rise team, but I couldn't remember like when they were good.
They were really good for a bit in BO3 with like Octane, Looney, and Slacked in them. I would say their peak was definitely World War II and like Gunless and Methods and Looney and TJ. Like that was like their peak for sure. When Gunless was like the best player in the game. Speaking of Gunless, I'm also thinking about IWE United here. That team with Silly, Prestinni, like that little run they went on was awesome for a little bit there. Man, I'm trying to think of like other teams that I wanted, and the one team I wanted for sure because they had arguably the most dominant year in CDL history. That's MW2 NYSL. I know people look at that team as like now look at the roster like Kismet has been not like he's been only okay since then. Skies has kind of fallen off since then. Like Priesta, especially of all those guys, has had such a like he took like after he won that event, he got dropped and like it took him like over a year to win out LAN again. But like I hate the like hindsight shit with that because it's like that team during that year they won half the events.
They're literally unbeatable.
Yeah, and at champs they were just dominant. Like Hydra was one of the best. Hydra's MW2 is one of the best individual seasons we've seen from a player in a long time. Like,
yeah,
I hate like the the revisionist history with that, where it's like, oh yeah, like NYSL, like looking at that team now, they suck, but like that
Mhm.
team during that year, like they won 3 out of 6 events. They were awesome. Like
Yeah.
that team was incredible. So I don't like the revisionist history with that.
And they smoked Ultra in like an hour in the finals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was like the most dominant champs finals we've ever seen. I don't know where to pick here now, boys. I was thinking about going for like I was thinking about
Vaporize
going
for
for
me.
like BO6, but I don't know. Like BO6 Optic would technically count, even though I was saying I don't want to pick him. I just don't want to pick him, so I'm not going to do
It would
it.
count. Yeah.
I'm not going to pick him though. But I just don't know. I was thinking about like BO6 like LAT, just like let's act like champs didn't happen. Or I don't know if I should.
Cold War Ultra
Yeah,
for a little
for a
while.
little while. I'm like trying to think of a team that's like for this pick. I kind of want to go like somebody more fun that I can't like so many of the teams that I loved are on the board and I or are just like teams that I love and they're just so not good enough to even be mentioned here.
I think you should take Cold War Cammy all by himself because he was the team, right,
He
Brock?
that's Brock's boy.
No. He was
That is
very
Brock's
good,
boy.
but I saw
Dude,
Ben's turn to like prime scum for event, bro.
I need to pull up that. I was looking for like a file to do this on. I found a random file from 2021 that was Kyle and I doing a draft. Uh, and it was like a CDL redraft, kind of like we've done before, and we alternated for 12 teams. And with the fourth overall pick, Cammy was the pick. It went like Simp. This is before Hydra was like really, like Hydra.
Yeah.
Um, but it was like Simp, shottzyy, I don't remember who the third player, maybe Dashy at that time. I don't remember who the third player was, but the fourth pick was Cammy because it was Heart of Cold War and Cammy was that's how good he was. Like
He's so
people
good.
think we exaggerate Cold War Cammy, but literally, and I remember I like specifically remember if I went back in that video, I think there were people in the comments saying like Cammy should have been third pick. Because shottzyy was also not having his best year. They were like, Cammy was like he could have been like top 2, top 3. And I was like, that people don't realize that's actually how good Cammy was at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They gotta go back and watch Cold War season,
yeah,
bro.
That's
he was
hilarious.
actually, like, unreal, and I was
Unlock
like
game.
I still don't even know who to pick with this pick. AW's kinda wiped out, BO3's kinda wiped out, IW is pretty much wiped out, W19's pretty much wiped out, I could go for, like, FaZe there.
All right, Ryan, just take Splice.
Or what game, BO3?
Yeah.
No. Uh,
To take the BO3, what's the team?
What
The
what
EU
what year
team was
did
Swanee.
what year
oh,
did Splice come
um,
runner up though?
dude, what team
They
was that,
were
like,
runner up. Oh, that was
Infused
Black Ops
or,
3.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, like some team like that.
yeah. Oh my god, Mind Freak from BO3, the Australian team?
I'll freak somebody.
Can I make an ultra prediction? Go BO7 LAT.
Yeah, go
uh,
ahead.
no, I'm just gonna go with like the one team I can think of that I like really really loved. That's World War II Rise, I guess.
Ah! Now I have
That,
to come up with one. Here we go.
that little run that they went on is just what I'm thinking of with like Gunless being the best player in the game and TJ being
Yeah.
unreal and Slasher.
Yeah.
Like the Gunless
Mhm.
TJ Slasher Looney is kind of the team I'm thinking of. That team was unreal.
Yeah, that team was very, very good. Favorites for champs.
Yeah, they were definitely the favorites going into champs, and we won't talk about what happened. They got like top 16.
Yeah, happened.
I just couldn't think of like a team that I really really loved and was actually good enough to like look okay on the graphic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rock?
so I probably shouldn't go with this one team I was
No,
thinking
go with
of.
whoever you want. I just literally couldn't think of a team that I loved enough to put on there.
All right. I gotta put this team up here. From Black Ops 4. Pretty solid team all year. I'm gonna go with Genji with my boy Major
Dude, I
Maniac.
actually was just thinking about that as a team that I love, but I was like, I don't want to pick them. Wait, Brad, I'll change my pick so you can have World War II Rise right now. By the way, I'm gonna change my pick to
I'm not gonna
Frico.
lie. My pick was gonna be BO6 Heretics.
I changed my pick to BO2 for Rico. I need
Alright.
him.
Love
I need
that.
the Choo Choo Train, Killa, Miracles. I love that team. That team's a legit like they actually make sense in this draft because they're like sometimes considered the third COD dynasty. Like they make sense
Yeah.
in this draft, and also I just love Killa, the Choo Choo Train, Miracles, Zip them up, Eggy. Just sit down, old man. Wait, no, that was miracles too. Everything was miracles. I was thinking of look at my bank account, also miracles. Zip them up, miracles. Sit down, old man, also miracles. I just,
Dude,
that,
what did Hecz scream?
he said like, no, he said like, you
So you're
can't
just
anchor,
watching or
buddy.
something.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
sitting there watching. He was screaming, JCap is clueless. You can't have him and Proof on the same team. He was screaming, you can't anchor, buddy.
And then Kill just
Uh,
chewing around for the whole
Killa's
map.
Killa's literally screaming, "I'm not even playing." His controller's sitting on the table while he's just talking shit to the other team. Like that team
That's
is
like the
just
best club ever.
that team is literally like that team is the most like culturally famous COD team. Like
Yeah.
the amount of views and like people who have ever watched competitive COD, like they all know Farico and they all know those legendary videos of them just like because like Killa in terms of as a player, like past VO2 isn't remembered for too much. But
Mhm.
like I was talking to somebody the other day that I know watched competitive COD back in the day, probably hasn't watched in like 8 years, and he was like, "Is Killa still streaming?" Like people just know Killa from that day because he's just like he's such a legend. Like,
Yeah.
Brad, are you taking World War II Rise then?
You better believe it. This has turned into the perfect draft for me. I got Black Ops 3 Optic, and then I also got a Rise and an Elevate team. I
Per-
couldn't be happier,
A
guys. I
perfect
couldn't be
draft from
happier.
you. I'm highlighting your second round pick.
Hey,
You got
go
the
watch your stuff.
World War
Enough,
II
enough,
EG up in
World War
not,
here.
II
not nice,
EG is
man.
insane, insane. That
I did a little too much research with too little information.
Yeah, that's that team is like if you just screenshot champs, you're like, damn, that team was nice. But then you actually look at the context around it, they didn't even qualify for playoffs the stage before
Yeah.
that. Now that team is hilarious because they are I don't know if there'll ever be a bigger upset for champs. Because like obviously this year Optic, like from where they were, was a huge upset, but like they won the event before. So like or I guess didn't win the event before, but they looked really good. I shouldn't say won the event because Thieves won the event before, but Optic looked
Mhm.
like they were like a contender and really good with Mercules before that. Like EG like stormed out of nowhere. They got a second place, but then didn't qualify for playoffs, and everybody was like, "Yeah, I mean they're at champs," and then they needed a 3-0 Optic to even make it out of groups. Like that team had no business winning, but what a legendary run! It's one of the best champs of all time because it was so unpredictable.
Yep.
Comment down below who you think had the best draft. Any other thoughts before we wrap it up, boys?
I got nothing.
No,
Oh,
just
beta coming out real soon. I'm really excited.
yeah,
Yeah.
play some a
Really
little bit
excited.
some of the beta, the COD next tomorrow.
COD next, really exciting. Maybe we'll put something out, like kind of reacting to that stuff, or we'll wait till next week. We'll kind of see what it looks like. COD next, yes, super excited for that. Then beta Friday.
Is it this
Yes.
Friday already?
Yeah, it's had like 4 days
Yeah.
as of like a couple days ago because like it comes up, and then the beta is
it's
like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I think it's
What?
the second, isn't it?
That's Thursday if it's the second.
Yeah, I think it's the second.
Okay, yeah.
My
So
God.
yeah,
Saw the alarm.
beta coming up very soon. When is it? Charlie Intel definitely tweeted it. Beta. Yeah, that's right. If you watch the stream, yeah, you get 6 days of the Call of Duty. That was 3 days ago. So yeah, October 2nd, 10 a.m. Pacific. So we're Central Time. So what is that? Noon our time, noon
I
Central
believe
Time,
so.
1 Eastern Time comes out on October 2nd. So yeah, Thursday,
Mhm.
like morning slash early afternoon. So we are this is Monday night. So we're only two more days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then that third day beta's out in 3 days.
2 sleeps, baby, and we get new COD.
Yeah.
Excited for that.
That was the worst part about the beta. Is like, yeah, like 2 sleeps till we get a new COD, and then it's just ripped away from you after playing for a weekend.
Yeah.
But excited to try that out. So, drop a comment down below who had the best draft. If you're excited for the beta, your thoughts on the rosters as well. I want to hear what you guys have to say about these rosters we have here. But if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you next week with our thoughts on the beta. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.